Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for your pre-game show with your boy Bot, your boy Rico. We ready to get it cracking. Folks, Detroit, Buffalo, this afternoon, what a showdown it will be. We need that defense to show up. But how are you feeling today? Talk to me. What's your energy like?
I'm excited. I mean, win or lose, this is the game of the year in the NFL. It's not just the game of the year for us Bills fans, but it makes the game of the year in the league that much more exciting, that much more nerve-wracking, having our Bills right smack dab in the middle of it. As I talked about with you on Friday, I find this game to be the last true test for the Bills in the regular season before the playoffs come around. This is the last opportunity I think we get to learn something about these Bills before the games turn into single elimination games. You're not going to learn anything against the Jets, who are on the ropes against Mac Jones right now. You're not going to learn anything twice against a rookie-led New England Patriots with a coach on the hot seat. You're going to learn something against a team that's on an 11-game win streak right now in the Detroit Lions on the road with one of the better offenses. Let's see what they got for us.
Let's see what they got for us. So I'll tell you right now, I'll tell you what we got in terms of who's playing, who's not, who's inactive, and who is active. The Buffalo Bills. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at the inactive list. Not exactly something we want to see. 7 inactive members. Of the 7, we've got 3 starting players. Damar Hamlin, starting safety. Taylor Rapp, starting safety. And you got your starting corner and Rasul Douglas out. And within the guys that are out, you also have it tailed off with Eddie Ulofoshio, Quentin Jefferson, and Casey Toohill. Ladies and gentlemen, and Mike White will be joining that list. What when you look at this inactive list and you look at who's out, if you were nervous before, what the heck does this make you feel now when you know Damar's out, Taylor's out, and Rasul Douglas out? Your thoughts?
Man, well, I'll tell you this. It was real rough last Sunday. I don't think it's going to be any worse than it was last Sunday with those guys in. I look at it, and it obviously doesn't instill a whole lot of confidence in me for it to be better, but I do know that last week the bar was set awfully low. So I don't know if it can be any worse. I was shocked to see Damar Hamlin on that list. I feel like we were talking all week about Rapp and Douglas. I just feel like this before when we're talking about like 1 or 2 guys potentially playing or not playing, and then all of a sudden, by the time kick rolls around, there's another guy on there where you're like, oh, I guess I didn't focus in on that with the other guys being considered out. So like you mentioned, I mean, regardless of how you feel about it and how last week happened, like I just said, the bar isn't set very high. It's still 3 starting defenders out against probably the best offense in the league and against a team that is capable of putting up as many points as anybody. They're number 1 in the league right now in terms of points scored. The Bills obviously number 2.
Yep.
But when you're missing 3 starting defenders, especially at a time, Rico, where it felt like this team was getting healthy on that side of the ball, it stinks. But it's next man up mentality. Nobody's been better than that, it feels like, than the Bills over the last couple of years. They've certainly been good at that this year when they've had to be. This is a big test for guys that have not played a whole lot. Right. So you got guys like Cam Lewis that are probably going to be in there. Cole Bishop going to be in there. So we shall see. But I guess the silver lining here is bar wasn't set all that high from last week, Rico. Can they at least go over that bar this week? And can that be enough to get the difference swinging in the Bills' direction?
Well, that's the thing. We got to find out, is it going to be enough? How big a test is it? And you said something, man. It's a big test. It's going to absolutely be a big test because right now, Cole Bishop is going to be getting the start at safety. You're going to have Kareem Jackson getting in there and getting some time. Cam Lewis potentially is going to be starting next to Cole Bishop. So we have 2 unknown. I wouldn't say unknown because I don't want to put that on Cam Lewis, but Cam Lewis will definitely be getting some time at safety. I think personally, it's a good matchup. I like Cam Lewis, funny enough, at safety. Cole Bishop, it should have get off the pod. We need to find out what we're made of because we drafted you in the 2nd round. Show us what you got. So this could be a blessing in disguise when you have these 2 guys getting onto the field. Now, we do have a familiar face coming back in Dwayne Smoot. So Dwayne Smoot returns to the lineup alongside, you'll see, Mr. Jordan Phillips. Jordan Phillips was inactive last week. He's now active this week. So there's a lot of changes. on this defense, but what remains the same and what remains unchanged is this offense. Everybody's healthy. We actually gained back Keon Coleman. We gained back Dalton Kincaid. So that'll be a nice addition to this offense. So we all know this offense has never been the issue. It's never been the issue. It's never been our challenge. Never been something that you'd have to say, oh, I don't know if the offense is going to show up. It's all about, is the defense going to show up? And when Taylor Rapp out, Cole Bishop in, DeMar Hamlin out, a mixture of Kareem Jackson and Cam Lewis in, doesn't give you the butterflies. It doesn't give you the butterflies to make you say, you know what? It makes me feel good. Nah, my stomach is turning a little bit because of the uncertainties on the defense. Do these changes give you some hope that you get to see young players develop and see if they can find their way on this defense, or are you petrified as to what we have on the back end?
I mean, that would be nice, but Rico, it's week 15. I could give a damn about what young players are developing into right now. I care about what this defense is going to look like going into the postseason. And here's the thing. You're missing guys in the secondary this afternoon. To me, though, and this goes back to the Rams game as well, obviously, you'd much rather have your starting unit in there or your starting guys in there, your number one guys at every position.
Right.
This game defensively, much like last week, this is going to come down to the front line to me in the intermediate game to me. If the Bills are going to be unable to generate a pass rush like they were against the Rams last week, I don't really think it matters if you have prime Darrelle Revis out there. I don't really think it matters if you have Deion Sanders in that backfield. If you're not going to be able to get after these guys who pick you apart, playing that zone defense, being unable to get after the passer like they were against Matthew Stafford, we saw that the Detroit Lions are the best team in the league passing the ball when facing no pressure. So if you don't get after them, I don't think it's going to matter who they had in there or not. And like I mentioned, you'd obviously prefer to have your starting guys in there. But even with that, you're not going to get after Goff today. You're going to be in for a long day. And it's also not including the fact that they have the best running back tandem in the league. So to me, it all comes down to the trenches. Are you going to be more physical than you were against the Rams last week? Because if that same type of team shows up defensively today, then it's not going to matter who's out there.
It is funny because you talk about in order to show up, you got to be physical. Yo, show up with your heart. Like, have some pride, right? And it's funny enough because we're going up against a whole bunch of pride today with the Lions. Dude, have some pride, man. Come in there and make sure that you handle your business and put behind that damn performance that you had last week behind you by performing today. Not only saying what Bot said, be physical, like show that you give a damn about being out there and making some things happen. So a big test for this defense is going to be on display today. We're about to find out what this team is really made from, because if we come out and look physical and we look like a team that is ready for the playoffs, look out. We could be a very dangerous team. And that was just an anomaly. But if we come out and stink up the joint twice in a row, that's reason to be concerned. And then puts more pressure on JA-17. Speaking of JA-17, what does he have to do today in order for these Bills to really get that W and really succeed? What are you looking for? What are you looking to see here?
I mean, I got no notes. Do exactly what you've been doing, please. All you can hope is you can continue to do what he's been doing. Now, that's easier said than done. I feel like it's easy for a coach to say, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. But when what you're doing the last couple of weeks is rewriting the history books, it's kind of hard to continue to ask for that. But it feels like today that might be what they're going to need against this offense. It might be what this offense needs in order to outscore the offense of the Detroit Lions. The Bills are averaging just over 30 points a game. The Lions are averaging 32 points a game. This is the type of game that it is. And the offense goes through Josh Allen far more than I think the offense of the Lions goes through Goff. So it's going to come down to Allen playing. And that's no indictment on Goff, by the way. It's just that they have everything clicking on all cylinders on that team. The Bills do, too, on offense, you could argue. The run game's never been better for the most part. The offensive line's never been better. You're getting production out of these receivers that you didn't think you would be. So you're getting all of that. But we all know that it's going to have to come down to Allen playing Allen ball, because last week you just saw 6 touchdowns, and that resulted in a loss. I can't imagine a performance today where Allen doesn't play his top end game results in a W. That would mean that the defense pulled off an incredible feat today that we were not expecting. So I'd like to see a better capability of running the ball today.
Right.
That could help go a long way for Allen. Because I don't know how much you can I don't know how much you can anticipate another 6 touchdown performance with a level head. It's just not the way it's going to go. I mean, it could go that way, and my God, if it does, I don't even know what to say. I'm running out of stuff to say as it is right now about Allen. If that happens, I don't know what to say. But you got to have a big game.
Say no more. And Josh is gonna have to be Josh like he normally is. And speaking of what you said, and you know that, man, we got to establish a run game. And the run game last week was non-existent, and I get it. We were behind. There was no time for us to kind of hand the ball off. This is where you need a fast start. And by getting a fast start, you got to get everybody involved and get a good rhythm going. So Joe Brady is going to have to get a rhythm and get a rhythm quick and keep these guys on their toes. Is it going to be a run? Is it going to be a pass? When you can do those two things, you now introduce the play action pass. And now you've got the defense at your mercy. And there's a decent defense across from us. The Bills, when they're healthy and they do what they're supposed to do, can be a very good defense. So we'll soon find out how it's going to all shake out once the offense steps out there. But we hope to see a run game. Now, defensive side of the ball and on the offense, let's go to the Detroit Lions for a quick second. I wanted to share a page here of what is active and inactive. I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with this Detroit roster, but we got Emmanuel Mosley, cornerback. He's inactive. Trevor Nowaski, inactive. Giovanni Manu, Miles Adams, Kyoto Owasaki, O-line out. Kobe Sorsdal is out, and Broderick Martin. Now, how impactful a lot of these players are. I mean, they already have a lot of guys on injured reserve already, and now there's an active list. But to me, no name on there really says, oh, okay, we're missing a big part. When you look at the Bills, you're like, holy crap, you got 3 starters out, gone. So this kind of gives you an idea of what we're going to be facing today. Now, aside from the Bills, and this is where you guys want to get in there because the game starts about 20 minutes, give or take. So this show is going to be more about what you guys are feeling and what you guys want. Bold predictions, hot takes, they're all here. We want to read you guys. We want to make this about interactive show with you guys. So let us know. Hashtag bold take, hashtag hot take. Let us know how you guys feel, and we'll get back into the chat. Looking at what's going on around the league, though, the Chiefs up 21-7 on the Browns. Pat Mahomes apparently I saw it. He got crushed. He got crunched in between Well, that is a violent game. It's a violent game, man. And these injuries that quarterbacks usually sustain is in the pocket. And you saw it with you saw it with Pat Mahomes. He walked off with his own power. Has he returned yet? Unsure. Carson Wentz. Golly, that's a name I haven't seen in a long time. Carson Wentz is in for these Chiefs. What that means for the Chiefs going forward, I mean, listen, we never want to wish injury on anybody, but if that is a significant loss, which it will be if Pat Mahomes cannot go, my goodness, is that ever something else? Your take on these afternoon games? You got the Jets, Jaguars. Jets took a lead 32-25, so we'll see how that shakes out. Anything that stood out to you in some of these games you've been watching?
Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, season's over. Tua Tagovailoa, a 3-interception outing for
Ouch.
2. Every game a playoff game for the Dolphins. We had looked at the Houston Texans as a team that wasn't playing up to the caliber that we expected them to this year after the dominant year they had last year with rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud, a year where they came on the scene far earlier than we could have anticipated. And we were expecting to see that again this year. Now, they've had some injuries, of course, but Nico Collins has been back, and that offense hasn't been up to what we thought it would be. The Dolphins didn't do anything today. The Houston Texans scored 20 points. The Dolphins scored 3 picks from Tua, all in critical moments, one right before the half, one down in the red zone, just terrible. And then they had a late game fumble, I believe, from Tyreek Hill when they could have went down and tied the game. So
awful.
The season ends for Tua. I'm looking over here. Now, granted, it's against the Jags and Mac Jones, but Devontae Adams just had the best game that he's had probably since he was with the Green Bay Packers. Him and Aaron Rodgers have, for whatever reason, have been on absolute fire today. That game's down to the wire, but the Jets are probably going to win that up 32-25. Congrats to the Jets getting a big dub over them Jags in Week 15. We're happy to see it. And then, you know what? For the most part, Rico, outside of that 1 p.m. game with the Chiefs there, and we'll keep an eye on what's up with Mahomes. This was the worst 1 p.m. slate that you could have possibly imagined.
Oh my gosh, you can't. It's so true.
Yeah. So not a whole lot of stuff from me on that end. The Ravens dominate the Giants. Of course, they were a 17-point favorite. So I don't think we really learned much from this afternoon. Here's the play, by the way. I don't have it, by the way. I thought I did. I was telling you off air that I couldn't get my one browser to work, so I'm using a different browser.
What you got? I can try to get it for you.
I was trying to get up the Mahomes play there to take a look at it. It does feel like Mahomes does get these. He does take these hits where he gets hobbled. We've known he's had that ankle thing for a while. I mean, that's been bothering him for a while. But it takes. I don't think. I mean, it would take something incredible to keep him off the field. So I don't know how much.
It absolutely would. You're absolutely right. So let me just play it for you guys so you guys can see. Like, he got crunched good.
Yeah.
Like, you can't. There's no like, he's not tough. Boo. Look at that.
Oh, it's just so awkward, like the way, especially because he jumped in the middle of it too.
Yeah. And that's a lot of weight, man. You got 300-pound dudes just all over you, like, and you're trying to make a play. Is it an ACL? I don't know. He was hobbled pretty good. He came.
It didn't look comfortable when he walked off. Rico.
No, he absolutely did not. And you don't like to see that. You're right. You want a team at their best at all times, because then let's just say things work out the way they're supposed to work out with the Bills and so on and so forth. The only reason you got it was because of X, Y, Z, right? You're not trying to really see all that. But listen, man, pretty tough injury for Pat Mahomes and these Chiefs. And Carson Wentz is now the backup quarterback. And we'll see. I mean, this is a former player that had some positive years in his career, and here he is backing it up. So we'll see how it all shakes out for the Chiefs.
For what he heard on that, you could tell me anything and I'd believe you. That just looked like a whole body experiment. Right?
That just looks like it hurt. It absolutely hurt. So Chiefs.
By the way, I was disappointed in the Browns today, Rico. I thought this was going to be like a playoff game for them where they'd really give it their all. They played terrible. So it wasn't good. So you got the Bengals up 37-21. I think they might still be alive. Are they alive, or are they still dead in the water? Well, I'm sure we'll find out by later today. They had a full chance going into today. So whatever that is after this, I don't know, but it's not great.
Mac Jones trying to usher a comeback here. We'll see how that plays out.
No, it's over.
It's over. It's all right. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Now these afternoon games, that's where it's at. It's going to be a big matchup.
I know those are. No, I'm just saying to the 4 p.m. game that your point there. I mean, obviously, all of our attention to the Bills, but commercial break, you're going to want a second TV today because there is some fire on the 4 p.m. slate.
100%. Colts, Broncos, that's a big game right there. The 6 and 7 Colts are still fighting for that 7 seed, but the Broncos are like, bro, we right now are the 7 seed. You ain't about to try to mess this up for us. So the Broncos they want to lock up that 7, maybe jump into the 6. Right now, we've got the Steelers, Eagles. That should be an interesting game. Battle of Pennsylvania going down today. And then you got the Patriots, Cardinals, womp, womp. And Buccaneers, Chargers could be an interesting one. Look out for Baker Mayfield and the boys. And the Packers, Seahawks, NFC implications on that game right there. This afternoon slate is not a joke. Commanders win it against the Saints. Chiefs, obviously, they win against the Browns. Ravens absolutely shellac the Giants. Maybe, just maybe, Lamar Jackson has put himself back into MVP conversation. This boy had almost a 300-yard game today, 5 touchdown passes, and rushed for another 65 yards. What a game. But it also is against the New York freaking Giants. So give me a break on that. But for the most part, man, Cowboys, who cares? Jets obviously win this one, and the Dolphins blow it yet again with Tua throwing 3 picks. Tua turned the ball over. So what are you looking forward to seeing in this game, good sir? I ask you, bold take, hot take. Do you have anything, and can you give me a score prediction? What do you got?
Oh, man, Rico. Well, whoever throws the lone interception of the game loses the game. I think that this is that type of game where, similar to last week against the Rams, one obscure play being the difference. And I think we saw last week the block punt for a touchdown really wound up being the difference in that game, not only in the final outcome, but how the final outcome was approached, because the Rams were able to dictate the flow of that game from there on out because they had a multiple score lead and were able to kind of do what they wanted offensively and didn't have to divert from that. So I think today it's a similar game. Offensively, both of these offenses have the advantage. When the offense is on the field, that is the advantageous group for either side of this game, right? So whoever ends up capitalizing on that advantage more is going to win it. And therefore, I think whoever winds up making a mistake or two within that advantage is going to be the team that ends up losing it. So that's kind of my bold take in terms of how I think this one goes. Score prediction. Man, I'm back and forth on this one. I'm curious to see how it goes. This is the highest over/under of the year. It's gone up even more than we were at the last time we spoke, Rico. It was at 4.5. It's at 55.5 now. So it keeps going up. I don't know. I just don't see how both offenses don't go up and down the field unless they continuously keep shooting themselves in the foot. I don't know where the stopping power comes from on either side. I don't know. I really don't know what to make of it. I'm so up in the air. More than a win today, Rico, I just want to see this defense bounce back. I don't want to see them be the complete sieve that they were a week ago. I gotta believe in this team's ability to bounce back off of a loss. That's where I'm at. And you got to think all good things come to an end sometimes. The Lions are on an 11-game win streak.
Yep.
It's got to come to a snap at some point, even if they are right now, in my opinion, the healthier, better team going out onto the field today, playing the better football. I just feel like something's got to give eventually. And the Bills are in a spot where they want to come back from what they just put on display last week. The Lions have to snap this at some point. Give me the Bills. Ooh, Rico. Give me the Bills 36-33.
36-33. I think you might be in that. I think that's a perfect range. That's a good range. And I love the Bills win. Although I am uncertain about how this game is going to go, one thing I am certain about is you're not going to get two back-to-back poor performances from a Bills defense. I just can't see it happening. They will bounce back. You will see guys answer the bell. Give me, in terms of score predictions, Bills win it because I still feel that we are the better team. I think it's going to be more than a 4-point game. I think something's going to break out where it just allows the game to stretch, just get out of hand a little bit. And give me the Bills. I'd say 30. Oh my gosh. All right. Give me 34-28. 34-28 Bills. 34-28 Bills. And here's the deal. It's about matchups today. It's about matchups. And I'll echo Carl Jones's sentiments. He said, look out for Taron Johnson. Taron Johnson is going to have an important role today because he will essentially be the one that's going to be covering Amon-Ra St. Brown. And Amon-Ra St. Brown is the best receiver on their squad. They're going to try to get him the football. So Taron Johnson is going to have a full day of going back and forth and figuring things out. But this defense is also going to have to step up in the trenches. That's a great O-line they have over there. The challenge is on the defense. Von Miller, Dwayne Smoot, Ed Oliver, DaQuan Jones. Y'all got to answer the bell today. We got to see some. So that whole 1-2 punch is my bold prediction that we get out to such a start that the Lions will not have an opportunity to establish themselves in the run game, right? It's going to be Jared Goff having to throw the football, and this is where we come in and make things happen. So that's bold. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it's a bold one, and I'm going to stand on it, and we'll see how that goes. I like the way it shakes out. So the game is around the corner, about to start. What do you guys have? Is there anything that you guys see that should stand out in this other than Taron Johnson that I think is going to be a key factor in this? And you know what? Cole Bishop, Cam Lewis, the replacements. I got to call it. What can these replacements do? Either you poo-poo the bed or you come in and you give us a breath of fresh air. A breath of fresh air to say, you know what, this is my opportunity to shine. Cam Lewis, I know he's going to. He's going to do his very best, and I think he's going to shine in this. But Cole Bishop, second-round draft pick. You got the size. You got all that. Let's see what you got in terms of, covering the big tight end in Sam Laporta. You might have the responsibility to do that. Matt Milano, can we forgive you on your poor performance of last weekend? Can you make us forget about everything? We need to see all of that happen today. Trenches, listen, man, Deion Dawkins playing at an all-pro level right now. Y'all know what to do, man. Protect 17. Keep him upright. Let's get a dub, man. Let's get a dub.
Let's go get a dub. 2 minutes till kick. Everybody enjoy the hell out of this one. Not very often you're going to get a game like this. Adam Schefter tweeted out that this, in terms of the records in Week 15, is one of the best matchups in NFL history.
Here you go.
That way. So enjoy it, and we will be with you moments after the game to recap the good, hopefully the really good, potentially the bad, hopefully not.
And we want to dance.
We'll be here with you. We're dancing with you in a few hours. Enjoy the game, everybody. Much love as always.